Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and you're listening to another episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in one, two, three galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just called the show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Today is July the 11th, 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very important show for you today. Today, we are going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm just going to rap with you about marketing. I am going to talk to you about, really getting your message out there and really setting the tone for your business. Now, the reason why I say you want to set the tone, ladies and gentlemen, after a while, you come to a certain point in your life where you're like, hey, enough is enough. I really want to get down the road. I really want to get down the highway with whatever I am doing. I do not want to live in the beginning lane. I do not want to live in the slow lane. You want to accelerate. You want to get a move on. You want to get a groove on. You want to get going. Then, ladies and gentlemen, how do you do that? Ladies and gentlemen, you have to craft a message. But, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter whatever you want to do, how you want to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, in order for you to get down the road like you want to, you have to be in it every day. You have to live it. You have to breathe it. You have to take it on every single day. You just can't pull it down, put it, you know, think, oh yeah, let me work on this once a week, once every other week. No, you need to be working on your business every single day. Every single day. Work on what you want to say, how you want to sell, what do you want to sell, who do you want to sell to, who do you want to talk to. Boom, 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 boom. We need answers, and we need them now. We need to know what you're doing, why are you trying to do it, how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, and how long are you going to sustain this business. Okay. And the reason why you want to know all that is because, ladies and gentlemen, once you get off the boat and once you start working for yourself, it is hard to go back to you do not want to be, you know, I ran a business for you quit. Let's say you're 29, 30, and let's say you quit, your job, and you're like, I'm running this business full time, full time, full time, full time. And then, you all of a sudden it's 15 years later, and you're like, you might have sold the business, or it might have, petered out or whatever. And then it's like, oh, I'll go get another job. No, 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 no. What you should do is figure it out and say, I'm going to start on the next thing. Because once you get a taste of working for yourself, working on your own, being on your own schedule, on your own time, it's hard to go back to and be like, hey, I'm going to take a couple of days off if that's all right with you. And you will be annoyed. You will be pissed off. It's a lot of things that's going to happen that you do not want to happen. And so you want to, make sure that when you get started, and when you say that's it, I'm done, I ain't going back, I ain't looking back, you want to make sure that you never turn around. I don't know what's going on with this phone. I have my phone close to me and it just keeps dropping for some odd reason. These phones are, you know, these phones are a pain. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, once you get down that road, you don't want to look back. You don't want to get started again. You're like, I'm good. I'm not going back. And I give you an example. My lovely wife, she ran a business for 8 years, 9 years. She ran a business, and she sold the business, and she's been off the last couple years raising our wonderful daughter. And me and my wife, we have these conversations, and she's like, I I got to figure out what I want to do. And I'm like, well, figure it out and just work around the house, work in the house, get your computer out and figure out things that you want to do, figure out other things that you want to do. I said cuz the last thing that I know that you and I both know that you do not want to do is you don't want to go back and you do not want to um, you know, you do not want to go back to working for people because you have, in the last 10 years, you have gotten very used to creating your own schedule, making your own schedule. My wife, she would, she would always be like, you want to take a vacation or something? And I'm like, I say, I'm not living the dream like you. I gotta still ask, you know. And she would say, "Oh, like, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, we can figure all that out." But it's nice to have one person that has the. It's nice to have one person that's not on a list. I remember when we both was on a, well, back when we was back in our early days of dating. I never wanted to travel that much because I always thought traveling was an arm and a leg, but I come to realize you don't spend that much money when you go out and about when you travel, unless you want to. It's a choice. Now, I do enjoy a nice hotel. I don't know about you, but we all have something that we all have something that we would spend money on. Okay, and for me, it's a nice hotel. I always like a nice hotel. I like I've stayed in some dumps. Okay, and I don't know about you. And as far as I was in the Navy. I slept in the bed in the Navy. If you ever want to look up U.S. Navy coffin beds, and you will see I slept in one of those. I've slept in the bed in the truck for a lot of years. First 2 or 3 years I was driving trucks. I only slept in the back of the truck. I didn't have a place. I wasn't staying with my. I was stopping to see my parents every now and then, but for the most part, I was sleeping in the truck. So, now I'm like, no, I want to sleep somewhere where it's nice, it's comfortable, it's a nice place. It's not just a run of the mill motel. I like going to places where they open the door, they have the concierge service, blah 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 blah. I don't mind it every now and then, but that's just me. And so we all have something that we want to spend money on. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the point of everything I am telling you is you do not want to be one of these people who look back and it's like, I got to go back to that. You will hate it. You will be miserable. You will be sad. You will be disappointed because it's human nature for people to say, I should have done this. I should have did that. I should have done this. I should have done that. I remember one time I was driving for JB Hunt. I was driving JB Hunt, and this guy, he said, I never thought that I would be at JB Hunt. And he was all sad. He's like, my truck, my truck engine blew up, and I didn't have the $10,000, and here I am. And somebody said, "Hey man, why you just didn't get another truck? Because now you finna be over here belly aching." And I saw this guy a couple times, and the two or three times I saw him, he was belly aching. I miss my old truck. I miss doing whatever I wanted to do. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, all right, pal, listen, it sucks, but either get another truck, go get a fleet of trucks, or shut up. It's that simple. And so you want to really, get the big, have big thoughts, big thoughts. I remember I used to watch. I don't know if you people know, but back in the day, BET before they sold out, it was a great little TV network, and I remember they used to have this thing called Video Soul, and the guy would be like, don't shoot for the moon, fall on the stars, something like that. The point is, aim as high as possible and take your shot. Okay, don't worry about People a lot of times they want to try to hedge their bets. I don't care if you're 90 years old. I don't care if you're 60, if you're 20, if you're 15. A lot of times, sometimes we go, well, if this don't work out, this don't work out, blah 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 blah. And it's okay to have a plan B. It's okay to have a plan C, but focus on plan A, and you'll never have to worry about plan B. Now, listen, we all know, there are always people, and me and my friend got into this discussion today, and he said, I'm tired of famous people always saying people never doubted me. It's like everybody doubts everybody. Okay, if you would have told somebody 5 years ago, this guy is going to have a podcast, this guy is going to have people listen to him every single day, they would have told you he don't say nothing. He ain't gonna have a podcast. And so it doesn't matter to me what people think. It doesn't matter what people would say about the show if they heard it. What matters is you listen. I appreciate that. And we are a family. We have online marketing moves and we keep it moving. That's it. I can't worry about who would doubt me, who has doubted me. That does not matter. As long as you don't doubt yourself, you are going to be okay. Okay. A lot of times, a lot of people are like, man, the haters motivate me. It's like, nobody really cares about the things that you are doing until you do them. And to a lot of as I told you before, there are very few early adopters. A lot of people, most people are Johnny come latelys. So if you have a YouTube channel and it gets 10,000, and then it's going to be 20,000, and then you can get 100,000, and then you can get 500,000, and people are going to be like, "Oh, I love this show," but there's going to be very few people who are going to say, I've been watching this guy from the beginning, and I seen the growth. People try to say that now, but a lot of times, nah, they don't. They haven't seen anything. They just caught the wave like everybody else. Okay, and so do not get offended by that. Don't take that personal. Oh, you wasn't with me in the beginning. You wasn't. Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? The point is, they catch on. They catch up eventually. Okay, what you want is a successful business. Who cares if they came at the last minute? Who cares if they just found out about you today, 10 years from now? If they started with you, that's great. And if they say, man, I remember you used to do this, do that, you can always have a laugh at those people. That is great. That is wonderful. You appreciate them. But there are going to be people who are going to come late, and there are going to be people who support you from the time they show up. So it does not matter. Do not get into the thing of, man, everybody doubted me, because nobody nobody really cares about whatever you are trying to do. Nobody cares about your business. Nobody cares about your posts. Nobody cares about your tweets. Nobody cares but you, and maybe your wife or your boyfriend or whoever. They, them, whatever. you know there are not going to be that many people who are going to care until you gain massive success. Then they're going to say, oh, I love this guy. Okay, if I want an Oscar, if I want an Oscar, I would get. I haven't been invited back to my old high school for career day. I haven't been invited back yet. But if I get some type of fame or celebrity, I'm pretty sure they would roll out the red carpet. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal. I wouldn't be insulted. I would go back. And so don't be insulted. Don't get you. I saw this show yesterday, and it was a very weird show. This lady, she was, you know, talking to her son, and she had the most annoying voice that I probably ever heard. It was called a quarter, no, oh yeah, quarter ton son or something like quarter ton teen or something like that, and she just kept saying, "Okay, baby, what are you? Okay, baby, baby." And I mean, people want that type of support, but that ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean. So you have to just bear down, and you have to get with it. And listen, you don't want to look back. Trust me, you don't want to be one of these people who started start a business, have it for a while, and and then fall. So study businesses that have come, Study businesses that have gone. Study the J.C. Penney's, study the Kmart's, study the Walmart's, study the Amazons, study the Apples, the Disney. Study AT&T. They've been around forever. Study companies that have been around for a long time. Study companies that have started and failed. Study company. Study because you want to figure out in your life what to do, and you want to figure out what not to do. And now we know sometimes some things. It's just like, I give you an example. Blockbuster. They say Blockbuster could have bought Netflix. Blockbuster chose not to buy Netflix. Blockbuster, when I was in the Navy, ladies and gentlemen, Blockbuster was popping. Okay. I remember Friday night, I would be off. I had the weekend to myself. And when I was in A school, I would have the weekend to myself. And so I would walk down the Blockbuster. I had me a Blockbuster card. I would rent me a couple of movies. And this was 1999. 1998, 1999, doop, 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 doop. I thought that was cool. And fast forward, I don't even think it was like 10 years later, 11 years later. Probably, I know by the time when I met my wife, we was we was ordering Netflix tapes. We was getting Netflix through the mail, and then we decided to get Netflix on the internet, and that was a big deal. And so by that point, Blockbuster was pretty much dead. And so in the span of that time, I don't know when Blockbuster started, but I know I started using them in like 1998, and by the time it wasn't even like a decade later, they was on the outs, pretty much dead by then. And so studying companies, and because listen, the one thing I will say, take your business very seriously. I don't give a damn um, what it is, what kind of business it is. If it's a blog, if it's a blog, if it's just a website, if it's a blog, treat it like a business. Treat it like a legit business. Don't Hobbies are hobbies. If you have a hobby, treat it like a hobby. If you have a business, treat it like a business. Okay? If you like collecting cars and that's what you want to do for a hobby, do that. If you like, playing tennis and that's a hobby, do that. If you want to sell tennis rackets, it's a business. Treat it as such. Okay? That's what you need to do. Hobbies are hobbies. A business is a business. You start treating it like a business from the word go, you will never have any problems. But always be studying, what works, what don't work. Really hone in on the market. Study your customer, study your message, study where can you go to do this message, and always, always, always. I don't do not worry about saturation. If somebody tells you this is saturated, say I don't care, because I know that I am the best of the best of the best, and the saturation, it don't matter to me, because I am. If it's saturated, I'll be the sponge, okay, baby, and I'm gonna soak it all up, so it don't matter, okay. And so, like I told you, study, study the markets. There's a book on Amazon. It's like by Brad Stone. You can read that. This Apple book by Isaacson. There's this Disney book that I read. You can read that. The Walmart book with Sam Walton. You can read that. There are plenty of people you can study. Oprah, if you want to see the rise of the Oprah Winfrey, um, empire, you can study that. There's all types of people you can study. Um, I used to watch wrestling, as I told you. Vince McMahon, he took it from regional wrestling to he's the Disney of professional wrestling. Okay, you can study him, not his personal life, but his business. I'm telling you, and so on and so on. There are many examples. Stephen King, he's a big. I mean, I remember I read a book about Stephen King. He talked about how he was, just trying to break into writing, and then once he broke in, he got a big check, and after that, once he wrote that book, After that, it was all gravy after that. And he started building the business of writing books and all that, and so there's a lot of examples that you can just go to and you can study. So that way, you know what to do and you know maybe what not to do. But there are always going to be bumps in the road. We all know that jazz, but it does not matter. But the point is, it's not about the destination; it's about the journey. Enjoy the journey, have a great time doing it, and go for it. Shoot your. As I learned in the prison when I remember, he used to always be always somebody bumping their gums. One of the jailbirds, they would say, "Man, shoot your shot." And I'm like, okay, 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 pal. So shoot your shot, okay. And man, everything's gonna work out, So you know, treat it like a business. Don't mess around, and man, everything's gonna be a okay. Big. Always be thinking big, 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 big. All right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Online Marketing Moves. We'll be back on Friday with all new episode. But until then, my name is Tony Rizano. Thank you for listening. God bless. And as always, everybody,